Now, we need to move the conversation into what women can do. How can women feel empowered? Because, there is all these negative side effects, but obviously you found in 35 years experience as a gynecologist that there's loads of lifestyle things, simple, practical things that women can do to help mitigate and minimize or even get rid of these symptoms and side effects altogether. So could you maybe talk about what's effective, what might work, what might not work, and what could, if someone did these, if a woman did these, might she be able to not have these symptoms at all?
Yes. So it's important to understand that educating yourself, first of all, is really important. Okay. And that is it's not your responsibility. It really should be the responsibility of the government, of the schools, of the public health bodies, that we educate people to understand from a very young age, not just about periods, but also about menopause, because then you're prepared for it. So once you understand it, there's no fear mongering about, what are the symptoms, because it sounds really scary, doesn't it? But it doesn't need to be. There's a reason why menopause are the golden years. They are very freeing. You can be very confident. You can actually embrace it, and you can actually live a very, very, very full life. So it's important to understand that there are large parts of the world where a lot of women don't suffer menopausal hot flushes, for example, which is the commonest symptom of menopause. And we think it's to do with a number of things. So looking at your own body weight, trying to aim for a healthy body weight really makes a difference, because we know that those who carry excess weight can actually suffer much more from the symptoms of hot flushes and night sweats and things like that. So once you understand losing weight is not easy, we know that weight gain can creep up, especially after the age of 30 or 40. And in the menopause, women may notice that they're gaining weight much more than they ever wanted to. So, but how do you aim to have a healthy body weight? One of the good ways is trying to eat a predominantly plant-based diet. A whole food plant-based diet helps because it is nutrient dense but calorie light. So you can eat good quantities of food like potatoes and salads and soups and brown rice with chickpeas and all the wonderful dishes that we discuss in the Happy Menopause course. What people have to understand is that when you eat calorie light but nutrient dense foods, body weight tends to stabilize towards a more healthier range rather than, with the standard Western diet. So that's really important to understand, that eating the right sort of foods is going to make a big difference. Similarly, moving your body is really important, and strength training is so important, because we know that fragility fractures and balance issues can become a real problem as you go along. So understanding the different types of exercises that you can do, including things like your own using your body weight, Pilates, weights and things like that, can really make a difference. But really focusing on even 15 minutes. If you can't even do an hour a day or 30 minutes a day, which is the recommended, doing even 5-10 minutes or little bursts of exercise, getting up every half an hour and walking around, doing some stretches, these things really make a difference for menopausal symptoms as well. So again, talking about all the lifestyle pillars, finding what stresses you out, what are your triggers? And so finding ways to, because all of us are going to have stress, right? But menopause can make stress much worse. So what you want to do is identify those stress triggers and find ways to mitigate it, because you can't get rid of all the stresses. But what you can do is find ways of actually helping yourself. Like I said, going for a walk with a friend, laughing at, loudly, watching a comedy show, being happy like you guys. These things actually, community work, these things can really make a difference. So I hope I've tried to explain to you why it's so important to really start as early as possible. But it doesn't matter. Even if you are not able to start those lifestyle changes early, as soon as you hear about them, you can start bringing in these small changes. And for some women, they will need medications. But not everybody can take hormone therapy. Hormone replacement therapy is safe. We know that there was a lot of misinformation from previous studies, but we know that for the vast majority of women, hormone replacement as we know it, body identical hormones, not something that is custom compounded in a small pharmacy. No, the ones that are standardized and are recommended by experts, body identical hormones. So a gel or a patch or a progesterone tablet, these are things that are important. They are safe. They are one of the best ways of managing hot flushes. But if you are able to bring in, the legumes and the soya and tofu and tempeh and being a healthy body weight, you may be somebody who's actually in the 10 to 30% that you don't have any hot flushes at all. And even if you do have hot flushes, even if you do take hormone replacement, you may then choose to take it for the shortest possible time and then continue. Because even if you take HRT, lifestyle has to go alongside all the way right into your 90s and 100s, which I hope all the listeners will be aiming for.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point there about lifestyle, saying that like lifestyle is just whatever, whether you take HRT or not, like it's something, and whatever age any woman listening or any human listening, like it really is, there's so much empowerment in the choices we make in terms of food, in terms of movement. And I think Steve's got a question, which...
No, just on the topic of HRT, it's something that's so loaded, and as you said, there's a huge amount of misinformation from previous studies, and a lot of those are kind of irrelevant because they were based on a totally different composition of HRT, whereas you talk about the
body identical
one is the most important one if people are going to try it, or if they're open to it and they're considering it.
But you have to remember so a lot of women don't want to take hormone replacement either because of a family history, they have a personal history of cancer, whatever it may be. They may be having clots, they may just choose not to. It doesn't matter if they can't take hormone replacement therapy. There are other medications that can be used, but also lifestyle can be really, time can be spent to explain to people what they can do. And if they do choose to have hormone replacement, you should not be scared of it. You know, as soon as you start taking it, somebody tells you, oh my God, don't take it because it can cause breast cancer. Those are false information. So it's really important to individualize it. It's not a panacea. It's not going to take away all your symptoms. It's not going to suddenly make you have a romantic relationship with your partner if you've not liked him for many years. So it's really important to understand that while it is really helpful for a lot of people, there are things that one has to do if you want to live a full, healthy, optimal life. We don't know yet whether hormone replacement can help with dementia. We know that starting HRT after the age of 60 probably doesn't protect us from our heart as well. So, every decision for hormone replacement should be with a person who actually understands what a medical professional who actually understands what HRT is and is able to individualize it. And that is what we discuss in the Happy Menopause course, is that what I want people to do is take away the fear of it, but also at the same time understand there are certain questions you should be asking your doctor, but also there are certain questions that you should be asking of yourself as to what you want to do to empower yourself so that you are not always reliant on medications, which sometimes you may not choose to do, or you may react badly to, or you may just find that you're not able to take it. So those are really important questions to be answered, whether you want to take medication or not. Again and again, the same thing I have to tell you, whether you're a man listening to this, whether you have children, whether you're a woman listening to this, however, whichever gender you choose to identify, you do have to remember there's a lot of things that we can do to help ourselves, to help our own health. And by doing that, you will actually live a much happier and a better life. But medications and surgery is needed for some people, and that's absolutely fine.